The truth about Enkaus, the new primary weapon that has been added in the new update of Shadowgrapher. One, if not one of the most broken weapons they've ever added, if I do say myself. It has so much potential. However, I've seen quite a bit of content creators that actively nerfs it. So, in today's video, I'll be showcasing four builds, you could say. One that I'll even take to level cap disruption, because I do like my disruption videos. I do love disruption. It's you can test out one of the weapons. You can test out any weapon there against high EHP enemies, and then and only then you can say, you know what, this weapon's worth it. It is a good weapon. But in today's video, I'll be showcasing not only gameplay of me against level cap enemies, but also other funny or fun synergies and builds and all-rounder builds. And do keep in mind, these are not builds with a faint of heart. This is a 6-former build, and I do hope you guys enjoy today's video. We're back in the orbiter. Okay, Enkaus. Let's have a look at what it is. It is Farley's signature rifle. The Enkaus will instantly kill and dissolve inked enemies that are damaged at low health. Shooting inked enemies siphons ink back into the Enkaus, allowing for a constant flow of creative destruction. That's an amazing introduction to the weapon. So, these are the stats. And it has a lot of status. In other words, we're not gonna really mine for crit, but you can, but it's a waste. And I'll show you why. So, let's get into the build, shall we? So, for the first build, we have a Toxin Magnetic build. I opted out for primary Blight, not only for multi-shot, but also crit damage, and the crit damage you get from primary Debilitate is actually far superior and better than Vital Sense. And yeah, this is the build. Nothing too fancy, very basic. I went for more punch through, because having to shoot more enemies is more overall DPS, and we don't struggle with ammo because of how this weapon works. Basically, if you ink enemies with the alt fire, it will help you sustain your ammunition, something similar to primary Crux. So this is the first build. For the second build, I went for a primary Frostbite setup. Basically the same setup, however, it's aimed more towards stripping enemy armor and slowing them down, and simultaneously having crowd control because of Shivering Contagion. We have a lot of gold. If you look at the status weighting, gold is the main priority that we want to be able to proc primary Frostbite more frequently, and also have this Shivering Contagion up at all times. We have critical delay, simply because we want more critical chance, but again, not necessarily needed, but it's nice to have. With primary Frostbite, we will get a lot of more crit damage than it initially says if you do the maths. If you come over here and you look at this, yeah, you can just do the math. I'm not gonna do it, but it's good. It is good. So that's the build. Now, oh my goodness, I saw so many people nerf Primary Debilitate. Primary Debilitate is an amazing arcane. Please, I will link a video in the description of how Primary Debilitate works. Please don't add Serration. You will face diminishing returns. You will essentially throw a rock at a brick of walls because of the same amount of damage you will basically do. It does not need crit mods. Please don't add crit mods. Don't. You'll be nerfing your own damage. Simply because of how Primary Debilitate works. We will basically after 10 stacks of a combined status effect, in other words something like gas, magnetic or corrosive, we will do basically do one element of the damage of that made up instance of combined elements. In other words, let's take magnetic for example. If I have 10 stacks of magnetic, what's gonna happen after that? I'm gonna proc cold and electricity. Damn! Who would have thought? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, and because we have rough elementalist, it will essentially double dip with status damage. And as you guys can see, we will benefit from heat, electricity, toxin, and gas. That's why I went for gas, because gas is actually DOT. And even though blast is good, I find gas more relevant and better in this kind of setup. And Shivering Contagion is honestly just a flex slot if you want to go level cap, which I will do. After I explain and show you the builds, you can just switch this out to this. That's it. Not that difficult. Really not that difficult to do. But for general gameplay, this is more than enough. You have crowd control, do a lot of damage. We went for Prime Shred, and we went for Prime Shred not only for the fire rate, but also for the punch through, because you want to hit as much enemies as possible. And then a funny synergy that I saw, and also kind of improved on my own way, is a Zara's Whisper Combustion. Not Combustion Beam, but I call it the Zara's Combustion, because we get a lot of, and I mean a lot of ammo efficiency and a lot of status rounds simply by having this kind of setup with any Warframe of your liking with Zara's Whisper, and you alt fire, you will do a lot of damage, and if you then shoot the enemy, it will essentially do red crits. Very nice, very lovely. So I think we're gonna go to the Simulacrum to showcase all of these builds and how it performs on a non-modded or unmodded Warframe without any companion buffs, etc. Welcome back, folks. We are in the Simulacrum. Just gonna show that I don't have any buffs, no invigorations, none of that on my Loki. No companions, no Archon shots, nothing. He's my test. He's my lab rat, is my test subject. Anyway, so let's have a look at the first build. It's gonna be a Toxin Magnetic build. I'm gonna spawn level 2, 35, corrupted heavy gunners. Just wanna make sure it's the right ones. There we go. Okay, so instead of just shooting, you're gonna alt fire as well while you're playing with this weapon, because you'll benefit more from it. So let's alt fire a little bit. Boom, we have them covered and are inked. So let's shoot the first subject. We are almost stripping them, and then as you guys can see, the damage does ramp up quite fast. Quite fast. Yeah. It does do a lot of damage. Now, it doesn't look as amazing simply because I don't have any buffs on. The only buffs that I have is from my weapon, from the galvanized mods, and the arcane. As you guys can see, it does kill. Now, imagine if you had a roar or nourish or any other type of boost, it will do more damage. So that's the first build. The second build is the IC magnetic build for crowd control. Just by shooting, I have basically froze all of them. But let's shoot the first person real quick. And yeah. Who would have thought? It does a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage. Would I recommend all of these builds? Yeah, you can use any of these builds to your liking. The primary Debilitate build, I would say, is more aimed towards or the build that I'll be using is more aimed for very heavy or targeted enemies. I will showcase the build as well, but do keep in mind that it won't look as promising simply because I don't have buffs on it. However, I will take it to liver cap after I show it this. Again, we're gonna prime them, and then we're gonna shoot. And look at those status effects. So I'm gonna keep shooting and I'm gonna leave it. You can see the damage ticks. It's a lot of damage, folks. Now keep in mind you have to kill enemies to keep up the stacks. When it comes to arcanes and mods. So the more kills you get, the more damage you'll build up and the more damage you'll basically do. The Shivering Contagion is a total flex slot. You can use a faction mod, you can use anything. Okay? So for the last build, I'm not gonna showcase it on my Loki. Instead, I'll be showcasing it on my Nova. And I'm gonna take off off my companion because I don't want it to influence anything. But what I will do is I'm gonna show it with just Nova. Okay? So let me show real quick. And I've seen a lot of people make this mistake when it comes to primary Debilitate, so I had to make a video just to showcase that it's stronger than you actually think it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna proc Zara's Whisper. And I'm just gonna shoot. Now, you will notice that, yeah, it does take ammo. That's fine. It is completely fine. But the thing is, with this Zara specifically, you can use it with any Zara's Whisper on any Warframe, but for the sake of Nova, I'm gonna show how it looks like if you use it with all of her abilities. If you just shoot one enemy, it'll be nasty. And it has this weird interaction with Zara's Whisper as well, from what I've noticed. So yeah, it doesn't look as promising. Again, as I said, but if you use companions and you prime them, you will have a better outcome when it comes to that. So yeah, that's the Enkaus. Okay, I'll be going to level cap and show you guys how it performs there. We're gonna use my old build for Revenant. If if you guys want to know what the build is for Revenant, you guys can have a look at the level cap build that I've also done with Coda Barbonico using my Revenant in my previous video, and all of those two videos will be in the description. And yeah, see you guys in level cap. Alright, so welcome back. We are on level cap. Wow. This weapon did not disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. So one thing that I can point out is that I did struggle a little bit when it comes to uptiming my galvanized mods. However, what's nice about this weapon is that if you use the alt fire and you shoot an enemy, not only will you basically one-tap them with 50 million red crit damage, but it will also help you sustain your galvanized mods boosts and whatever have you. So yeah, it's a great weapon. What I use this setup, build, whatever, every single day. Not exactly, simply because I don't do level cap every day. But one thing that I did change on my build that I forgot to mention is that I switched out Shivering Contagion for Hunter Munitions for that Slash procs, because Slash does ignore armor and directly go for the health instead. So that's why I don't have to rely on armor stripping enemies to kill them, because I don't have to armor strip necessarily in level cap at all. But anyway, yeah, I was generally having fun. I don't do level cap every day, but it seems like I have to, because yeah, I've seen a lot of people, you know, use Serration and crit mods with primary debilitate. Not just one person in particular, but it's a common thing that I've noticed, and I don't know if they know that they're nerfing their own damage, but you know what? More power to them. Yeah, like having crit mods and primary debilitate is really not easy. Don't do it, honestly. And yeah, I mean, I did have a lot of fun. My Revenant build will be in the description to a prior Coda Barbonico build that I've done for level cap as well. And I've also, yeah, but anyway, sorry, as I was saying, no, I've noticed a lot of people, you know, make the common mistakes when it comes to primary debilitate. Yeah, I don't blame them. Primary debilitate can be, and is a little bit confusing, but it's a status. It's essentially a status engine, if I had to put it like that, because of how it synergizes well with the Elementalist mods and basically Galvanized aptitude specifically as well, and then your basic mods. Yeah, I really had a blast, you know, playing with the Enkaus. I would probably give this weapon an A+ tier if I had to rate it. It's not an S tier because incarnates exist, unfortunately. But in terms of the uniqueness of it, the fact that you can basically have infinite ammo if you splash enemies in ink, that's OP. That is OP. That is very OP. I don't know any weapon that can basically insta-kill enemies regardless of their level. You know, it's insane. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me just scan these enemies real quick. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. My Discord will be in the description. Yeah. What else can I say except that You guys are welcome, I guess, for making a proper video this time, because I do try my best when it comes to making these videos. Yeah, I mean, it just shreds like millions of DOT ticks and whatever have you. And yeah, the most damage that I've seen with these red crit numbers that you guys see is around 50 million. But it was like at level 7,000 enemies. You would say that's 34 million. Still a lot of damage against a level cap enemy. I mean, come on, level 9999 enemy. Yeah. So yeah, let me just go to the extraction and then I'll tell you guys the stats, how many enemies that I was able to kill. And keep in mind, I was doing this solo, so there were times that I had to pause. So don't let the time deceive you. Okay, there were times where I was literally AFK. I had to pause the game and do something else RL. But yeah, I got a decent amount of relics, still essence. I was chilling. Didn't have much to complain about. Okay, yeah, there's the stats, nearly 3,000 kills and whatever have you. Very good, very nice. Let's get back to my arsenal real quick. Okay, so Enkaus, awesome weapon. We've recommended. Now, if you're not really fond of playing with Shivering Contagion, you can just play with Vigilante Ornament instead. It's not an issue. I use Shivering Contagion for the fact that you can also freeze enemies and have a little bit of crowd control while you do damage. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and this is Swifty signing out. A peace.